Anuj, good morning. Thank you for joining us. The quarter gone by was tough in every yardstick for a paint company. Uh, there was a pressure on margins. There was a new challenger which has come out. There is a inventory challenge which companies had to deal with. But you've done reasonably well. Let's understand why and what is the way forward now that crude has come back to manageable levels.
Yeah, very good morning. Thanks for having me here. It's like quarter one, if we really look at all business segments, and that's something special for Kansai Nerolac, because we are into multiple segments like decorative, within industrial, we are in automotive, coatings, and the demand situation for all the segments has been reasonably good in the quarter one. This is the first part, and that is what is reflecting in the top line numbers. Also, the new businesses which have been added, I think they are continuously giving the good growth to the paint industry. When you look at the margins, obviously the inflation has been very, very high for last 1.5 year. And last year, in fact, a lot of price increase we have taken in decorative, and where the weighted impact in the last year was less because the price increase has come towards the third quarter or fourth quarter. Even in the industrial business, last year, because the performance of automotive clients have not been so good, so there were challenges in taking the price increase, but towards the end of last year, then we were able to manage a decent price increase, and that discussion still continues. Unfortunately, now there is a backlog of demand in automotive business also, and therefore the production growth is good for the automotive company. Their performance is also relatively better, and therefore it is a right time to take more price increase to whatever extent we can combat the inflation. So all these factors are contributing to this result.
Almost back to pre-COVID level, before almost back to the war levels, which is 85, $86 where it was, now it is a 95. So will your margins go back to, let's say, what they were at the in December, in the October to December quarter of last year?
Difficult to comment like that, because as you said, there is a different competition in the market. Intensity is going up. The product mix are changing. A lot of new businesses are coming in, and especially in the industrial business, the margins have gone down at a very very low level. I think I don't foresee that margins will be able to go back to the peak levels of whatever we have seen in the past. But one can expect a decent increase in the margins.
Anuj, I know I'm putting the pressure on you, but could you quantify how much of a price hike could we see? Just a ballpark range also would do.
See, last year, we have taken in decorative, we have taken the price increase of 21%, and in industrial also we have taken a price increase of around 17, 18% last year. And this year in the first quarter, because the inflationary trend continues, first quarter the inflation is in the range of 6-7% totality, which include decorative and industrial both. And in the first quarter, we have taken a price increase of 2% in totality, which include decorative and industrial both.
To the point that Nikunj was earlier making about increased competition in the sector, from your current market share of 7%, how do you plan to do it better or become better? And are you threatened by the increased competition? And could that in any way challenge your current market share?
See, it's like obviously when the new competition comes in and there are good players who are entering in this market, situation always become more challenging. But it's interesting. I think what is important in this market is that especially if you look at the consumer brand, we are there for 100 years, and we have a good mind share, a good brand recognition we have in the market. We have a good distribution, and there could be certain weaknesses what we have. So I think when the new competition enter our sector, what is important for us is to just concentrate on our strength and strategy and just see that if there are certain weaknesses over a period of time, how do we correct it? So there's no question of threatening here because the industry size is good, the growth is good, and it takes time for any new player to come and create a distribution relationship with the painters, dealers. So it takes a lot of time. So I think it will be a more interesting situation. There will be intensity which will go up, but there's no question of any threatening because we have our solid position in the market, and we are working on our strategies to see that how do we improve upon it.
Like Nikunj said, the stock is doing cartwheels. Yesterday we saw the stock high 9%. Today also such solid gains. So now I want to also talk to you about the road ahead. You give us an indication that you're already going to be increasing prices. Don't want to tell us how much as yet. But what is the demand looking like? If you see the quarter that's gone by, net profit higher by 35%, revenues are higher by 40% as well. What is the demand looking like for, let's talk about industrial as well as, of course, from the OEMs?
So in the industrial OEM, what we are seeing is that demand, there is an increase. If we look at passenger vehicles, for four-wheelers, there is an increase in the demand. Whatever we keep reading in the newspaper, you can see there's a backlog, for say 60 days. So to that an extent, we feel that this demand momentum will continue. Commercial vehicles numbers are very good, and even this agri income which is going up, the demand of tractor segment is very good. In two-wheelers, last year, the production growth of the two-wheeler manufacturers have been negative. That is also seeing a positive uptick. And because the monsoons are good, so we expect by say from September or October, there can be a good pickup in a rural market or upcountry market, and then therefore we can see some impact on two-wheeler demand also. So overall, we feel that the demand of automotive is back, and it is intact, and we see good momentum to continue. In decorative, partly first quarter, if you see, the base level was very low for the month of May, especially because last year there was a COVID impact. And also one of the factor going forward is that this time there is an early Diwali, because Diwali is a good period for paint industry, and whenever the Diwali happens in the month of November, there is a good demand which gets before Diwali, but this time Diwali is early, so we'll have to wait and watch and see that early Diwali to what extent it makes the impact. But overall, I think the demand is expected to remain decent.
Okay, so early Diwali is usually better for the paint business. I had no idea about that. So that's an interesting thing to learn today. Thank you so much, Anuj, for joining us live. Kansai Nerolac, watch out for that stock, literally doing cartwheels, 9% higher yesterday. Today also reacting to the numbers, and you can see the solid gains.